Introducing the Heist. Every shot was done by a text-to-video, the Google Veo 2. I did all the sound design, editing, and music. Just remember, as we always say, this is the worst it will ever be. That was from a verified X user, Jason Zada. Now that came across my timeline a couple months back, and I didn't really think too much about it. The majority of it was just replies to my timeline to that initial tweet, so I really only saw the video and the reply discussing all the flaws that were present throughout the entire thing, which were super obvious. When you took away the sound design that Zada added, you were just left with the raw, generative video. After viewing it in this way, I didn't really have a second thought. Just more AI slop my timeline that people are rightfully angry about. It wasn't until recently, when I planned to make this video, that I thought back to it and I was wondering why this video? Why was it important? Why did it matter so much? And I looked back at the account that posted it, Jason Zada, and come to find out this is a Hollywood director. He directed Secret Level he had tagged in the initial post. In my view, I see generative AI as this tool that's wholly unnecessary. It supplements this lack of humanity that people for some reason want, that I can't grasp quite yet. I don't understand. So then I think to myself, why would a director who's engaged in the creative process want to engage with this tool which seems to only enable selfish pursuits?
I want this picture to be a commentary on modern conditions, stark realism, the problems that confront the average man.
But with a little sex.
A little, but I don't want to stress it. I want this picture to be a document. I want to hold a mirror up to life. I want this to be a picture of dignity.
A little while ago, I had picked up In the Blink of an Eye by Walter Murch. I got through a good chunk of it and I was taking a lot of notes throughout reading it. I was very engaged with the text itself. It was fantastic. I have a passing interest in film production, behind the scenes, a lot of the aspects of the creative process, and Murch's words struck a chord. I was very engaged with it, but I procrastinated and I set off to the side for a while. It was destined to be one of the books on the shelf, started but not finished. For some reason, I decided to go to a coffee shop on my birthday, and I picked it up. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get to it, I'm gonna finish it, and I'm very glad I did. Murch is a very experienced editor, and this book is effectively a lecture he gave way back in the late 80s and early 90s. The part I gravitated to the most was added in 2001, which was the afterword on digital film editing, and quote a passage towards the end of it that I feel is very integral to understanding why there is this desire for AI. Murch proposes this hypothetical in what I'm just calling the black box passage. Let's go even further and force the issue to its ultimate conclusion by supposing the diabolical invention of a black box that could directly convert a single person's thoughts into a viewable cinematic reality. You would attach a series of electrodes to various points on your skull and simply think the film into existence. And since we are time traveling already, let us present this hypothetical invention as a Faustian bargain to the future filmmakers of the 21st century. If this box were offered to you by some mysterious cloaked figure in exchange for your eternal soul, would you take it? The kind of filmmakers who'd accept or even leap at the offer are driven by the desire to see their own vision on screen in as pure a form as possible. They accept present levels of collaboration as a necessary evil to achieve their visions. I think that gets at the heart of why AI is so desirable to so many. It lies in the heart of people who couldn't do it all but wish they could. It seems to me that they don't have the drive or ability to pursue a project, a film, on whatever terms it needs to be on. Whether it's writing a full screenplay or just getting your phone camera out, making little clay figures and doing some stop motion. They want to take it to a level that they're incapable of reaching by themselves. And generative AI, built off the backs of stolen art, helps them do that. These directors are selfish. They have this innate desire that they feel only they can achieve. And when you look back at Zada's tweet, the video of Heist is pinned on his profile. There's a certain pride he's taken to it seems, because it was wholly his in his mind. Something that he had built using these tools. But these tools are just not art. After finishing In the Blink of an Eye, I wanted to delve deeper into who Murch was and understanding more about his history and philosophy on the whole filmmaking process. When I came across an interview he did fairly recently with a YouTube channel called Cut to the Point.
I want to ask you about the future of editing. The artificial intelligence tools are like widely used nowadays for picture editing and things like that. And there is this I don't remember the name, but there is actually an engine that already edited a feature film out of dailies. So how do you feel about the future of editing?
Yeah, well, those are big questions. I mean, this is happening not only in film, but in painting. There's now, an AI created painting now just won first prize at some contest.
Exactly.
I'm glad I worked when I did.
I don't think it's going to be a huge problem for film editors.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's so hard to predict. I have no doubt that there will be a feature film, I think, as you indicate, that at least starts the assembly with that.
I have no doubt either, but at the same time, I think that people will want other human beings to edit films, at least to some extent.
I hope so.
Let's hope so, exactly.
Yeah.
Murch saw a bleak future for the profession of editors, and we've gone even further than that. If you go look at the YouTube front page, there's great chance you'll see a trailer for a movie that is not quite right. Typically something superhero or a very large IP, but it's just not right. Why is that? That's because there's a new industry of creating fake mock trailers or alternate versions of trailers that were just out, then intercut with generative AI. And already seeing attempts at making movies using exclusively generative AI, usually from individuals, but they're gaining notoriety because of this odd novelty that's ascribed to generative AI, rather than abject horror, as it is obvious that many corporate executives find this value in distancing themselves from humanity by using these tools, by investing in them. It's frankly sad that this is the point where we're at now. It's good though that within the industry itself, in other comparable industries, it seems like AI enthusiasts are a loud, incredibly loud minority. Murch's black box passage continues. The kind of filmmakers who would instead reject the offer are interested foremost in the collaborative process of filmmaking, and in seeing a detailed vision mysteriously emerge out of that process, rather than being imposed by a single individual from the beginning. That is a more humane way of looking at it, isn't it? It brings me back to Zada, sadly, who, in the replies of his tweet showing off the heist, just showed this to my dad, and he couldn't believe it was AI generated. But the people are real, right? We are so early. That's the thing. The average person doesn't know or care. I still can't quite grasp why an established director, given these tools, would undergo that process when they've experienced the other side. It's hard for me to grasp the desire to reject collaboration, something that's so innate with humanity, in exchange for such a destructive and frankly disrespectful practice that is generative AI, and how it's been used. How it's been used for the entirety it's existed. It's been scraping information without permission this entire time. It's frankly insane.
Well, you see, Willard, in this war, things get confused out there.
Before the video ends, I just want to give a few shout outs. First off, to Walter Murch for writing just a very meditative and frankly life-changing book on film editing. Life-changing, maybe stretching a bit, but it generally changed my perspective on editing and the creative process. And I only found this out because I decided to make this video. He's gonna be making a new book called Suddenly Something Clicked. It's coming out early May, mid-July. Don't really know. Just really hype on it. Obviously, this shit isn't sponsored. Look at me. Secondly, to Nick Versillo from The Yard. It was like in the early ep. I wrote him on the inside cover of The Yard episode 79, about 19 minutes in. He just gave the book and just described it. It instantly made me want to pick it up. I'm glad I did. Shout out my boy Mustafa for helping me out. If you're an AI guy and you somehow stuck through this, if this ended up on your feed, obviously I have an inherent bias against AI. I feel like that's pretty obvious throughout the entirety of this. But I don't know, engage in the comment. Describe what you feel, why you feel it. I'm genuinely interested. Please be nice. Don't be a dickhead, or I'll be a dickhead right back. Alright, yellow boys. I'm gone.